Let's talk Jinx, and for this episode, it is a patch episode because we have patch 14.4. There are no direct changes to Jinx, but there are changes to other AD carries that we're going to talk about. And then once again, we do gotta mention things like Vanguard and stuff. In the last patch video, for those that weren't exactly paying attention, I didn't say that League was going to for sure die. I said for some people, League dies because they don't like kernel anti-cheat systems, and Vanguard is being rolled out to League of Legends in a single region in patch 14.5, and then it looks like they've also changed the rollout to be as like a region by region basis after that as well. So no, it's not clickbait. I explained exactly what I meant to say. Is for some people, because that's how they're reacting. If you look places, you'll know where to look. They are saying League is dead for them. League is a dead game now. They can't play it, they won't play it, they want nothing to do with kernel anti-cheat and stuff like that. For the rest of us, it's a Tuesday. Also, Windows min-max spec updates as well. If you don't play basically on Windows 10 at least, support is starting to stop for 7, 8, and 8.1. Keep that in mind. So let's look at some champion changes, because if you're playing as Jinx, some things that might be changing, of course, is your matchups with other AD carries that were buffed or nerfed, and also supports that you'll be playing with and against, like Bard. The armor growth is decreased, the level 1 attack speed and attack speed ratio is being increased, and the passive bonus damage increased, and the Q damage is increased. Basically, I guess they're making Bard be a bit better of a trader. The armor growth, for example, and not trader like he's going to betray you. I mean, Bard's used to do that when he was released with his ultimate, of course, but what I mean here is like, if he steps up to harass people with his Q, it's going to do a bit more damage, and he's going to have the armor growth, meaning he's going to be able to withstand a couple attacks while he's stepping up to do that. He's not going to be as squishy from an enemy marksman, so that can be nice if you're playing with one. And if Bard is stepping up to trade against you, keep that in mind. He's like a little bit beefier. It's armor growth and not just flat armor straight up, so you can still harass him like a little bit, but as the lane goes on, he'll be, and it's only going to be like a little bit, because the armor growth down here, it's 5.2 to 5. Actually, the armor growth was decreased. I misread that horribly, and you all still stuck around. So you know what? You're amazing, and you're also, your smile is fantastic. The armor growth is going down. My bad. He's gonna be a little squishier, but it's because his attack speed is going up. So basically, yeah, they basically are gonna allow his auto attacks as well as his Q, which I guess work together, of course. Especially with the passive, you know, the Traveler's Call, the damage is going to be increased. So they want him to be able to kind of step up and be able to harass a bit more in lane. And there we go. So keep that in mind if you're playing against one. It's actually going to be a little squishier. It's only a little bit, though, regardless, though. That's the point. When they do stuff like this, it's 5.2 to 5. It's going to be a whole 5 levels before it's even noticeable. And even then, it's going to be only noticeable by 1. Cassante. Now, Cassante's not an AD carry. I just want to mention that he has this hairstyle that, like, they've given, like, every black character and, like, everything for a while, ever since Killmonger came out. And, you know, it's kind of funny. If Jinx does, in fact, get a black Air Force Energy skin, that's going to be her hairstyle somehow. I don't know how, but they're just going to give her the dread comb-over thing, despite the fact that she has braids. More Jinx-related, though, Kai'Sa, now that I have your attention. Kai'Sa's ult range is increased. So as we all know, the ult, if there's the hit on it, and, you know, Kai'Sa can jump from quite a far range. And by increase, they mean in earlier levels, because at max range, at level 16, it's still 3,000. But at first, it was only 1,500, and now it's 2,000. So Kai'Sa can join a fight from a little bit further away now. If this has really been your bane when playing against Kai'Sa, then keep note of it. If it's not, then actually nothing else changes. There's no like attack damage increase or armor increase or decrease or stuff like that. The matchup's exactly the same as your Jinx. It's just that the ult range is a little bit further away if her jumping in is going to wreck you or your couch. Callista, passive bug fix, E damage decrease, so foot. Lulu, Q second bolt damage increased, E magic damage and shield value increased, R bonus health increased. So depending again, and we always say this, as a Jinx player, some people prefer the enchanters because like the protection and the peel and the stuff more than say hard engage supports like Thresh and Braum and stuff. So with Lulu here, and the fun thing about this is with a lot of things going up across the board, if you end up, especially if you end up falling into a meta that's more like a protect the hyper carry stuff, Lulu just got really good at that job. She was always one of like the staple champions when it came to that anyways, but now you got a bit more damage on Lulu herself too. So even if the hyper carry does die, I mean, you're still probably screwed, but at least Lulu does a little bit more damage. The other parts of the Megazord can do some more damage as they go down. Schmolder. There's no H in their name. I just like saying Schmolder for some reason. It's like saying stupid instead of stupid. It just sounds funnier and I like it. Q additional fireball scaling decreased. Now stacks if a target minion dies while Q is mid-flight. WQ down adjusted. Initial damage decreased. Explosion damage decreased. R will continue to cast when Smolder dies. Alright, that one's a little... So for those that haven't really played a lot of Smolder, this R is he basically calls for his mother, and his mother comes in and just torches Earth, basically, in a direction that Smolder was facing. And it's funny to think about that if Smolder dies while his mother's on her way, she'll just continue to scorch Earth everything. Because that kind of feels like it makes sense, too. It's like, yeah, you just killed my child. I'm going to kill you. Kind of a situation. I don't know. Maybe it's not that funny to y'all. But it's a little funny to me. Basically, he's poking too much with his W. So if you've been in lane and you've been getting poked out of lane with the W, that's going to be a bit more on the cooldown side. The damage is going to be a little bit lower, but the Q additional fireball scaling is also going to be decreased because, yes, it says it's got a lot of stuff here, but I'm thinking of like the Jinx matchup because Smolder's kind of a more simplistic carry and it's kind of nice. With the W kind of not being able to maybe harass you as much, it might be a scaling lane. I know this sounds weird, but both of you might just want to start scaling for trying to get out of lane instead of harassing each other. It's something I don't talk about often, so I'm going to try and talk about in this video a little bit. We can make a dedicated video later, but it's like sometimes some AD carry matches are just about who can scale better and farm better for getting out of the lane phase. You obviously want to try and get kills if you can. I'm not going to try and stop you, but I'm saying sometimes it's about like, oh, hey, they play this way and I play this way. We play the same way and we just want to be like, who's better at last hitting? Let's go pound for pound. Let's see if we can both hit that 70 by 10 minute mark. If they're taking away Smolder's harassing tools to harass you as Jinx, and I guess, you know, if you're paired with something like Lulu, like we just talked about, you're going to be pretty protected, safe in lane. So work on that. Last hitting practice. Hit that practice tool. Soraka, the white mage of League of Legends. Passive movement speed increased. Q, heal increased. E, bug fix. R, cooldown decreased. All right. Okay, we're heading towards a healing, peeling, shielding meta, I guess. Because like I said, Lulu, Soraka now does all this. People are going to want this. People are going to want some of this. They're going to want some of Soraka, all right? Never mind, then we got the bad boy Thresh. Base armor increased, E damage increased, R cooldown decreased. So Soraka... It's like when God was creating the creatures and he makes the ant, and the next one after is he creates the anteater, and the ant's just like, bro, what the heck? Soraka just got some great buffs. Here comes the Thresh with also great buffs for playing into something like a Soraka. Alright. Varus, base AD increased. Lethality and on-hit are his only viable builds, so I guess they also want him to be able to build crit, and so how you do that, you make base AD good since crit is a multiplier of your AD. So if you're playing against this in lane as Jinx, it won't be anything out the gates, but in the late game, I guess the matchup will be crit for crit, possibly. He'll probably still go lethality, because lethality still wants some AD, and on-hit also still wants some AD. But it maybe just opens up the possibility that you're playing against crit Varus. Hit that tab button so you can see the items that are being built when someone has vision on them, by the way. When you combine that with some bug fixes and the porcelain skins for Porcelain Protector Aurelian Soul, Victorious Tryndamere, Porcelain Darius, Porcelain Graves, Porcelain Morgana, Porcelain Misfortune, Porcelain Aurelia, and Porcelain or Prestige Porcelain Kindred, and you have yourself a completed patch notes for patch 14.4 of League of Legends. Everything else in these patch notes as related to Jinx do not matter. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next, because I've had a lot of kinks. So until this time, take care. ggGetJinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly.